Hi everyone, welcome back to Mind Your Business. In today's episode, we're going to be finding out about the fashion brand Ulwaziii. So I'm here with Quintin and he's the owner of Ulwaziii. So tell us more about yourself.
So, my name is Quinten. Obviously, Ulwaziii is something I've always wanted to do. I didn't know I wanted to do it, but there's always something that comes across that thinks, you know what, I love fashion. I love doing a little bit of modeling myself a few years ago myself, and I really enjoy the feeling it gives you when you actually see the transformation between someone actually modeling, wearing clothes and feeling the best about themselves as well. And then also tying in some consciousness, which we will get into as well.
We'll
get into it, don't worry, we'll get into it.
So how long have you always wanted to start your own fashion brand? Would you say modeling is what inspired you, or has it always been there?
I would say I had a bit of history with the modeling, a bad history. So I went to an agency and they said, oh yeah, you'll do the modeling, you'll be fine, you pay for your composite cards, your Z cards, you obviously pay it off when you first do your first shoot. What did I do? Yeah, cool, I'll go ahead, blah, 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 blah. Next minute I see this massive deduction out of the account. I said, okay, so I thought I was paying this when this was all sorted. They said, no, you actually pay the first round and then your agent would then sort it out. So I had a bad run with that agency and I thought, well, there must be other people that must have had that same experience. So I thought, okay, let me go and set something up where everyone can enjoy the experience. As you know, the industry's always been about height, slim. There's been a very stereotypical view about what you need to be as a model. And I wanted to kind of break those boundaries where it could be everybody. Everybody can be a model. Everybody can be on stage. Everybody can have a photo. Everybody can look good. Everyone can feel good. Then I also wanted to tie in the consciousness as well. So I wanted it to be a conscious clothing fashion brand.
So what makes Ulwaziii conscious?
Because, first of all, the name Ulwaziii means knowledge from a South African language, the Zulu language. So I was going to go with the word knowledge, but I thought it was a bit bland, a bit boring. So I thought, why not spice it up a little bit and have something in there that could actually make it much more exciting. Something different, something that people can look at and think, oh, I've not seen that before. What's this all about? So that's kind of how it comes together. It's actually spelt with one eye, even though it's got three eyes, as you can see. The reason why there's three eyes is because when you go onto the website, you need to use your third eye in order to see the website. So
it all comes together.
So that all comes, so that all comes together. So that's why I thought, let's make it a little bit different, make it a bit more exciting as well.
And what would you say has been your proudest moment so far running your business?
The proudest moments.
Or maybe the highlight. What's been the best thing so far?
I think actually there's probably the highlight was actually doing, I would say, one of the first fashion shows. Oh, nice. Which is really, really cool.
Where was it?
This was actually in Vauxhall, in South London. It was an event, and it just came together really well. It was a bit sideways because I remember I got the phone call and they was like, oh, one of the actual brands have dropped out. Are you ready to go? And it was literally like a month before, and I was like, not really, but sometimes you just got to say yes. If you don't say yes to things, things don't happen. And sometimes you say yes and you go away and you figure it out later. It's a headache, it's nerve-wracking.
But it pays off in the end.
But it pays off in the end, because at the end of the day, you've got to push yourself. If you're not going to push yourself, things aren't going to happen. So we went and did it anyway, and the reception was great. The models were great, the crowd loved it, the cameras, and I just remember the whole night was just a spectacle of something where you think to yourself, this is something that you've envisioned, and when you see the vision back, and when I look at the video now and I'm just like, that really happened.
Like it came to life. That
really came to life, that actually wasn't just something in my head that just played over as a dream, that actually was there. So that was definitely a highlight for me to see that actually come to fruition and actually be like, yeah, this is actually real. This is actually happening right now. I won't forget that. I won't forget that, no.
So then what does like a day-to-day life running the business look like? Is it just you? Is there other people?
Both. It's quite hard to explain. Yeah, it's quite hard to explain that as well. it's still mainly me running things by myself.
Yeah.
I need to let go.
Yeah.
I got this kind of like
because it's your baby.
control. Yeah, you know, you're kind of a control freak, and you think,
this is
do you,
mine.
do you want to let this person kind of go on and do their thing? And then you're thinking, do you have to do quality control? Do you have to check to see how they've done it?
Yeah.
Have you missed a letter on the postcode? All these kind of things go through my mind.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. So I do have, there are people that are coming in the process where it is now, which I'll explain more, because obviously I'll probably kill myself if I try to do everything. I've eventually started to let people do that and just sort of say, look, just trust this person. Because I know these people that I know, okay, you can do this, you're capable of doing this, it's going to be fine. Exactly.
What does your work-life balance look like then for someone that's so all about Ulwaziii?
It's very hectic. Yeah. I think what this is the thing where I've been changing a lot of the processes, because obviously what I'm trying to do now is try to factor in much more family, friends, and relaxing as well. You need to switch off. You need downtime, you need to sleep, you need to eat. I like to go to the gym, I like to train, because it just keeps your mind under control. Otherwise, you can't just do work, because you'll perish. You'll burn out. And you'll miss things, you'll make mistakes. And that's when all the setbacks really come in, because I used to explain to people, I'm terribly sorry about this, terribly sorry about that. And you're just creating more havoc for yourself. So obviously I've got a system where I can actually go, for example, to the back end of the website. I can see everything that's going on, what orders need to be done, what needs to happen, what emails need to be responded to, what's urgent. So I have like a traffic light system, so you know what's green, what's amber, what's red. Red is like, priorities. And then what I found myself doing is doing that for my normal, I call it sort of life admin. This is like a new term. It's like a new thing that's going on. Everyone calls it life admin, where I'll do that now. Say, all right, have you responded to your mum? Yes. Have you responded to your, have you responded to this?
Have you eaten?
Have you eaten? No, I need to go. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain things that it sounds ludicrous, but you need to do it. Otherwise, you just can't control everything. You just lose your way. So it's really important to make sure you have a checklist for your work life.
And your life
life. Your life. Yeah, exactly.
What would you say is a key lesson that you've learned from starting your business then?
Key lesson?
Other than learning to be flexible and having good work-life balance.
Key lessons would be quite personal, actually. Trust yourself. Believe in your ability and believe in yourself is definitely probably a key lesson. You're going to make mistakes. No matter what you do, whether it's not even just business, anything in life, you're going to make mistakes. So the best thing to do is just to trust yourself, to make sure you know, okay, do you know what, things might go a bit left, things might not go on track straight away, things are going to be hard, but you never give up. You always push forward, you always find another way. If you look at something and say, I can't do this, and you give up, you'll never do it.
You're already mentally done.
You're already mentally cancelled yourself out. If you look at something and you say, actually, do you know what, I can do this, how can I do it? So it's not, can I do this or not, it's how can you? And that's what I started to really, that's probably the biggest lesson that I learned, to be honest, because then that way, you start finding another way. Yes, you're tired. Yes, it's 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. You want to go to sleep. You've got this, and it's just like, can I really do this? But then it's like, you just find another way. And that way, you always find an answer. When you always find an answer to something, you always move forward.
That way you're growing and making progress.
You're growing, you're making progress. And it might not feel like it, but after a year, you look back. Wow, we've done this, we've done that. And you actually start to accumulate and actually see in front of you what you've achieved because you found another way. So that's definitely something that I would say is a key lesson, because there were times where I stopped. And I gave up in the beginning. I was like, this ain't gonna happen. This is not possible. Like you start having the doubts inside your mind. And then there were some valuable people around me at the time, and just sort of different podcasts that I like to listen to. It's just like, no, you gotta keep going.
What's some of your favourite podcasts?
We'll be here for ages.
Top three.
I love...
That's me. That's giving you the drive to continue.
Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourites.
Powerful.
Very, very powerful. There's actually one with Denzel Washington. Yeah,
Oh, really?
he's actually done a few podcasts and a lot of motivational speeches I think people don't know about, which is really, really good. I really enjoyed his a lot, actually. He really actually did a lot of inspiration and inspiring. I'd probably say they're my top 2.
Yeah.
I would say.
They're strong too.
So there's actually, so I like listening to them, and obviously they explain a lot as well. So that's really, really good. And I like to use them as a Bible to go to, and I need some kind of picking up.
Yeah.
You know, and
or even
drive.
it's a good start to your day as well before you're getting to
Always.
doing stuff.
I actually listen to it now when I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually replaced music sometimes with podcasts.
Motivation. I mean, what advice would you give to anybody out there that wants to start their own fashion brand as well? Following your footsteps.
Advice. It's hard to give advice because your advice might be different to someone else's needs. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I would say whatever you do, make sure it's true to what you believe in, something that you're passionate about as well. And also, without being sounding quite patronizing, something that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't just do something because you saw something else and you want to copy that sort of list or that sort of
pattern.
Instruction. That sort of manual. You got to do something that's unique. You've got to do something that's original, something that people are not expecting to see. That's what catches people's attention.
Yeah.
If you do something that's very similar or I've seen this before.
Yeah.
People are they're just gonna basically say, you just copied this brand or you just copied that brand, or you've taken this initiative and moved it over here. You don't want to do that. You want something that's fresh, that's new, that's going to keep people's attention. Because the world is about attention now. That's what the world is about, is attention. You know, you go everywhere, social media, it's like, how can you keep people's attention?
For the longest
time possible, because everything now is getting shorter and everyone notices you literally got 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You've either got someone or you've lost them.
Yeah.
In 3 seconds. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure it's capturing something new and have a purpose. That's a big element, is having a purpose. If it's got no purpose, it doesn't mean anything.
It won't prevail.
There's no value added and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have purpose as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think of black initiatives such as Black Pound Day in terms of your business? Do you feel like that's something that actually works? Do you think it's...
This is a really good question, because I had many thoughts and theories on this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I was talking to at the time, especially when everything came around that summer, and obviously George Floyd and all the riots that kicked off and everything that went up in the air, there's lots of conversations. Now, the thing with all this, it's great. Let's start with it. The awareness, the marches, the demonstrations that happen, it's all for a good cause. So it's good that everybody wants to get up and actually say, right, let's do something about this. Let's actually make a movement towards it. But the thing is, what people need to understand is these things filter out.
Yeah.
Because the substance behind it, there's been marches for how many years? And how far have we got with marches? Marches are great for bringing awareness, but is it going to bring around complete change?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people that I was talking to were saying, is it going to bring change? And the thing is, and the scenario that I kept on saying to people was, it's great to do so, but how long can you march for? Because at some point, your employer is going to say, right, it's time to go back to work. You can't march no more.
Yeah.
You've now been taken out of it because now you need to go and make money to go and feed and go and eat and etc. etc.
Exactly.
So I was saying to people, the reason why had so much hype around it was because everybody was on furlough. If everyone wasn't on furlough, the momentum wouldn't have been as big.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't have had the time. So people need to understand time and need to understand money. If you really want to bring around change, the Black Pound needed to work where you actually only spent your money only on black businesses, and everybody collectively needed to boycott everything else, or even everything else that was not supporting what was going on. Because there were other brands that was supporting. Everyone's talking about Reebok and all the statements that they were coming out with saying we actually support, because they actually made a statement saying that the majority, the percentage of our customers are black. They said it.
Yeah.
Open, like literally said it on their Instagram. I remember actually reading it as well. So there's certain businesses that know their target market, and they thought, right, we're going to step out and support.
Yeah.
Sainsbury's was another one.
Yeah.
All the incident that happened with Tesco's and the advert that kicked off as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all these kind of things needed to come up. So there's certain businesses that needed to be supported, whether it's actually black or white. If you're supporting the cause, they need to be supported. If you're not supporting it and it's still having this undertone sort of racial, systemic racism going on, they need to be basically put into the spotlight.
Yeah.
Because basically you can't fund into it. When you start funding into it, you start spending your hard-earned money into these brands, you're keeping them alive. The only way to stop what's going on is to cut off their circulation. And that's by spending your money in the right places. The world runs on finance. That's how the world goes round. That saying, money makes the world go round.
It really does.
It really does. So if you want to make change, think about where you're putting your money.
Yeah.
That's all that really comes to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually wanted to make it as well as conscious as anything, because I know other people that isn't black that's also conscious, that also think, oh, I like this brand, and tap into it. Because there are people that also aren't black that also support the cause. There's many people. So you can't be shutting people out
just because they're not black.
Because they're not black, yeah. So that's the other thing that you have to take into consideration as well.
Tell us about the future of Ulwaziii.
Okay, future of Ulwaziii.
Yeah.
Exciting. Really, really exciting. So, it's giving me lots of headaches to start there, because obviously there's so much planning. I'm a perfectionist. That's the problem. So first of all, I want to have a fashion show. So I don't want to attend a fashion show. I want to host a fashion show. So hopefully looking to do that in November.
This year?
This year.
Oh, wow.
And I want to start the first fashion show. And like I said, the branding, core branding is about consciousness. So I want to have a fashion show of models, conscious singers, motivational speakers, and a pop-up area where people can come and actually talk and have a conversation. Because one of the areas I want to really get into, I also want to bring in a counselling element as well. So that is someone that I will be bringing on board. And she'll be qualified very, very soon, which is exciting. And I also want to bring in a counselling element where people can have a conscious conversations, which is basically through counselling as well. And that's also something I want to bring in, especially it's basically all age groups, but especially from sort of, teenagers upwards, because that's where you start thinking about things. I went counselling myself a few years ago, which is a very interesting experience.
Would you say it was helpful? Was it what you thought it would be?
I would say so, yes.
That's good.
Because it made me realise things about myself that I didn't know before. And I use that in every day that I do. And it's helped me to get to where I need to get to today. And where I wanted to get to, so I can affect and help other people. So you can pass on that beacon of light as well. So that's something that I really want to have there, introducing at the show. So there's going to be many elements, as you can already see.
Oh wait, so would the counselling be a part of the fashion show as well?
So I'm going to introduce it at the fashion show. So it's not a part of it. And I want to have that running at least 4 times a year.
Oh, nice.
Every quarter. I don't want it to be permanent. Just 4 times a year. So every 3 months.
So then would each time you do the fashion show be different clothing? So new season, this is the new style.
This is the new style, it's a new season, this is what's going on. Because the other question that people used to say to me is, oh, I love your products, but can I get to see it? I want to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to see what, and that's important. Again, another learning curve. Listen. You need to listen to what people are saying to you. When people ask you questions, don't just sort of brush it under the carpet or they don't know what they're talking about. They're asking you a question that can always improve what you're doing. Even if it's just a small incremental step, you can move forward because you listen to what that person said. You don't know how many questions that everyone else has that one person's asked you. Could be 50 people. Could be 5,000 people. But if you make a change on that question, you might have answered 5,000 other people's questions. So all of a sudden, you're going to get more people coming in to say, oh, this is what it looks like. This is how big it is, and this is how it feels, and X, Y, and Z, and get to meet people. So face-to-face element is important, and that's why I'm excited to bring that in, because lots of people can then have the opportunity to come and see it for themselves. Come and speak to people, and actually say, okay, I'm now able to come and see something physical. And I think that's something that's really important.
And I guess in that way they have more of a connection with the brand.
Absolutely. The best connection you can ever have is face to face. Word of mouth and face to face is you can't get rid of those two. They will be there forever.
Yeah.
You can do virtual, you can do online, you can do digital, you can do Zoom, Teams, Viewer, all these things. But you can never get rid of word of mouth and face to face. Can't get rid of those two.
I agree. Tell us more about your design. So what comes to mind when you're designing your items?
So as you can see, obviously this is the white version. Obviously I've got the black t-shirt on right now. Obviously it's a white t-shirt. There's also a red version of this as well. So designs at the moment is simplicity. I like simplicity. And sometimes I think when it's overcrowded, sometimes it kind of distracts the message. So I want the message to come out first and foremost, and nice and strong. But there will be, of course, other brands and other styles. And it's obviously the symbol that will come with it as well.
Yeah.
And put it in locations in different places. So I wanted to do simplicity and then introduce almost complexity.
Okay.
So you kind of have a balance where people have the option to, you know, oh, I like that with just the writing on the top. And then some people might like designs all over the top. So you need to make sure you cater for everybody. And I wanted it to be something unique and different. So there is a design that I'm playing around with at the moment and talking to a lot of the designers, which is I like basically symmetrical design, and have symmetry going on and have different designs that are quite equal and equilateral, because I think it just kind of brings together a wholeness and oneness as well. So I want to make sure that the message is always streamlined all the way throughout the whole collection. Obviously the other one that people were starting to say is, there's anything more colours? So obviously now I'm starting to introduce more colours.
Yeah, you said the t-shirt comes in red as well.
Yeah, so it's red, white and black at the moment, and obviously it's the same with the hats as well.
And the hoodies?
And obviously the hoodies, actually it's a full tracksuit, but then obviously it's just black at the moment. So people have also said, oh, is there a khaki version? Is there a white version? Is there a grey version? Charcoal? You know, navy blue. There's all these different colours that people tap into. So you kind of have to cater for everybody. And that's something that I also thought, okay, I'm listening. I've heard a few people mention this now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to introduce some colours.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You introduce some colours slowly, test the waters and find out how it reacts. And that's kind of what you do.
Amazing.
So really good.
Well, it was great speaking to you.
It was great speaking to you as well. I really
Where can
appreciate
we
it.
find all of your items?
Yeah, so you can find everything on Ulwaziii. So it's www.ulwaziii.com. That's ULWAZ.
3 eyes?
3 eyes. That's
eyes,
it.
guys.
tripleeyes.com. And it's exactly the same throughout. So that's obviously the Instagram at Ulwaziii, same again, and the Facebook as well.
Amazing.
So really excited about that as well.
So that's all from us today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.